proceed?
Go back there.
I'd like to remind you to stand up.
Thank you, my lady. Mr. Miller, in your statement, also today in your testimony, you used the word "to my recollection," and then you explained what happened. Just answer for the record. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, you had some drinks that evening at the function, is that correct?
Correct.
And afterwards, on your way to the room, you also stopped and had a further drink, correct?
Correct.
And then in your room, whilst you were engaging with Ms. Altersky, Ms. Amiria, you also had a drink.
Correct.
Is that so? So it's fair to say that your memory might fail you because of the assumption of alcohol that evening.
Correct.
Because we do have different versions, for instance, as to where everybody was situated before Mr. Rohde stepped into the room. You've got a version. We've heard the evidence of Farah Amiria, as well as the accused. I'm not going to go into great detail, but you will accept there might be different recollections from the different parties that were there.
Correct.
Correct. And in a similar vein, your recollection as to the entry of the deceased, she opened the door, she called out to the accused, and according to your recollection, she did not walk up right to the accused.
No, she walked halfway down the passage.
Halfway. Right. But we've got another version of Ms. Amiria that she in fact did walk up to the accused at some stage after requesting him to leave. You've now heard that, correct? So in a similar vein, you might have been busy either drinking or having your eyes averted, and that could have happened as she recollected and told us to the court. That's a possibility,
Is
correct?
a possibility, yes.
Thank you. Then as far as the tone of the voice of the late Susan Rohde, you said in your evidence this morning she was calm. Do I understand it correctly?
It wasn't screaming or screeching or...
But we've also heard the evidence from Ms. Amira that she was agitated. Could that have been correct interpretation that she heard from the deceased at the time?
Could be.
Could be. Then lastly, it is correct. I consulted this morning in the adjournment with both Sergeant Adams and Sergeant Apollos separately. They do recall about whiskey in your office that you use as gifts. Is that so?
Correct.
And independently, they also recall that following the statements that were taken at your house, your statement, and similarly the Santos statement, and Ms. Sam Bartlett was present and she typed your statement. They agree with that. The aspect of this Johnny Walker Blue Label whiskey came up. You had some of it at your house.
Correct.
And Sergeant Apollos' recollection is that he indeed saw that and said, "Can he have a sip?" And then you poured him that. Right. Their recollection is it was round about midday. They were standing out on a balcony. You've got a balcony?
Correct.
And they were smoking. And it was then that he had that sip of whiskey.
No, it was in the lounge that he had the sip of whiskey.
Well, he differs from that, but be that as it may, he had a sip of whiskey. And the three policemen, the third person is no longer a member at Stellenbosch. There was a third person with them, and Sergeant Adams was the driver. You can't dispute that.
I don't know who was. They took turns.
But they came there with one vehicle, three of them. And Sergeant Adams said he was smoking. He did not drink whiskey.
Correct.
Thank you, my lady. I've got no further questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything in re-examination?
Yes, please. Thank you, my lady. I just want to get clarity. I suppose different people mean different things when they use the word sip. I took a sip of this bottle, I would go, a little sort of taste. You know, what does it taste like? Is it water? Is it what? Did Sergeant Apollos have a sip of whiskey, or did he have a glass of whiskey?
Well, a tot of whiskey.
A tot in a glass.
Correct.
Did he have a tot with ice, water, or neat?
Neat, as I recall.
Right. And did he drink the full tot, or did he just have a sip of the tot?
He had the full tot.
Right. And did he drink that after the statements were made and
Before.
signed, or before?
Before.
Right. Thank you, my lady. I have no further questions. May the witness be excused, please.
Thank you. Your excuse.
Thank you. My lady, vis-a-vis the further conduct of this case, my learned friend and I have made an arrangement that after the court adjourns today, we will meet to try and sort out the matters involving my instructing attorney, Mr. Witz. In the circumstances, I'm not in a position to produce any further witnesses today, and I request that we adjourn until the next court date, which is Monday. And then I have, if I could put it this way, penciled in as my next witness, Professor Gert Simon. And a final decision as to whether or not I'm going to call him will be made over the weekend.
So, if I understand correctly, subject to further discussions between yourself and Mr. Van Niekerk, you may or may not call Mr. Witz on Monday. But if the agreement is that he has to testify, or you elect to testify subject to your discussions, that he will be available to testify on Monday.
Oh, well, he'll be available to testify when it's his turn, because I will probably, if I'm calling Professor Simon, start with Professor Simon.
Thank you. I take it there's no objection.
No objection.
Thank you. That being the case, we'll proceed on Monday the 13th. The request for postponement until then is granted. We will not sit for the rest of the day. Mr. Rohde, your bail is extended on the same conditions until Monday the 13th. I think you know the drill by now. Thank you.
That's good, please.